welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a sibling happy hour redo. I'm here with my sis, Jay Andrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling a little bit, and then we're going to talk about this viral sensation, Rysa Tissa. That's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. Look, this is a for real happy hour because I'm lit and you are lit. So we don't know where this show is going to go.
It's really starting off the rails. Like
why you say it's starting off the rails?
Because of what you just said. I'm saying that in response to what you just said.
Well, okay. Well, look, to the listening and watching audience, we ain't going to be quick with our responses today because we're a little inebriated, but it's the happy hour and it's a special edition.
It's literally the title of the show, guys.
Right. It was good to see you in person. I know people are going to be asking, why didn't y'all do the show in person? Because I don't have the equipment to do that.
We do, but we don't. The logistics.
But we don't have the equipment to do it.
I mean...
Me and you have gone, all right, behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, me and my sister have gone back and forth about, do we have the equipment to do it live and in person? Yes, sort of, no, kind of. Okay, so that's really the answer to the question. Can we get the equipment to do it in person? Absolutely, that's not a problem. I can set that all up.
Yeah.
Did we have the capability to do it in person this weekend? Maybe.
Yeah, we did.
All right, okay. Maybe we did, but it would have meant more work for me in post-production.
But what's that have to do with me?
Okay, exactly. That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's our relationship right there. That's our relationship right there.
That seems like something, that's a personal problem.
Okay.
That you work out on your own. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't have done it. We definitely could have. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Bruce has robbed you of that. So,
no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That is crazy.
No, I'm just kidding. That. But no, I think that the live or in person show, I think that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. It's just not the way that you wanted to do it when you were here. Like I said, it's more work for me. I want to do it so there's a smoother transition after we film the episode, but that's giving people too much. Jay, what was that? I got to meet Roscoe. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to the other thing that I was going to talk about, but I got to meet Roscoe.
Yes.
That little bugger. I'm telling y'all, he's
been a hit this entire trip.
Of course he has, because he's freaking adorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, he could be Michael Jackson.
How could he be Michael Jackson?
Really cute as a kid and not grow up so cute.
Michael did that to himself.
No. I was going.
He went through a slight ugly phase, but
that wasn't slight. That was for real ugly.
By the time he got to the Thriller album, I mean, yes, Off the Wall, he was ugly on that album cover.
Yes.
He was ugly. But by the time we got to, Thriller, if he had just stopped there.
I think he did stop there.
No, he continued to hack at his face.
Okay. Maybe he did.
Yeah.
Maybe he did. But
no.
Homeboy in his teenage years, I fell down a slippery YouTube slope last night.
Oh, Lord.
Of listening to old Jackson stuff because there's something that popped up on my feed. They had cast all of the Jackson brothers.
Okay.
And they were showing side by sides of the Jackson brothers as the guys playing the Jackson brothers as they were during the Victory Tour. Mm-hmm. And oh my God.
This is the Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson biopic. And oh my God, the casting, phenomenal as far as the look.
Yeah.
So I fell down a rabbit hole just listening to Jackson songs. And sure enough, when Michael was about 15, 16, yeah, he was ugly.
Yeah.
He was ugly. So that's what I was talking about with Roscoe. Roscoe is adorable. Might be the cutest puppy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
Is he always going to be that way? Is the question.
I believe he will.
Let's hope.
Because he is my son. So
okay.
Okay, I don't have ugly children.
All right.
So I think he will. I think he'll be a handsome young gentleman.
How is he a hit?
Oh, with everybody. With everybody. Everybody has cuddled him today. He's gotten so much love that he is exhausted. So he's in a crate and asleep. But he was a hit with everybody. Everybody thinks he's adorable. I walk into homes and he just disappears from my arms and I don't see him again until I'm about to leave. He just gets passed around and he loves it. And so, yeah, he's been a hit.
Even his little bark is cute.
It's adorable.
Yeah, even his little bark is cute. All right. You showed me something on TikTok or Instagram about this game show.
Yes.
And can you explain to the audience what this video was that you sent to me or that you showed me?
So it's a game show on Hulu called The Floor. And I don't know anything about this game show. I never heard of it. But Saturday Night Live did a parody of the show and everybody thought, oh, it's just Saturday Night Live exaggerating.
It's just satire.
Yeah. And no, it's not. So basically, what it appears to be is they show pictures of people and you have to go back and forth with you and your opponent identifying the person in the picture. And it could be anything, but it was always famous people, whether in, entertainment or politics or whatever. And the video was a compilation of white contestants answering, who's pictured in the picture. And at every time a Black person was featured, they would pass.
Now, I'm sure they did cuts. I'm sure there were some people that did know who these Black celebrities were.
Yeah.
But it was overwhelmingly...
Enough of them didn't that they were able to make this TikTok video.
So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be real honest. If you put Margot Robbie in front of me, and I don't know, Dakota Fanning, I might not be able to tell the difference between the two.
I definitely won't be able to tell between, her name is Jamie. She's an actress. Jamie something, but she was in like Joe Dirt.
She was in Joe Dirt and she was in My Name is Earl. I know exactly, or at least I think that's who you're talking about.
Yes.
Her and Margot Robbie. Look,
if you try to put them, you lost me. And them with 1990s Christina Applegate, I can't tell them apart.
Well, I understand Christina Applegate because in Married with Children, she has a distinctive, because I was such a fan of Married with Children and Don't Shoot Me, The Babysitter's Dead. What was the movie that she was in?
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which, by the way...
Hilarious.
Hilarious. I don't know if the movie still holds up, but I'm going to assume that it does.
You know what? I think that's something I'm going to do this weekend is watch Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Hey, look, going back and watching old 90s movies, not a bad thing. But the reason why I brought this up is because Jamelle Hill, and for those of you who don't know Jamelle Hill got her start being a sports writer. She has her own podcast, Unbothered. She's a media personality now. I have been a huge fan of hers going all the way back to, 10, 15 years ago when she was on Partner Interruption. No, not Partner Interruption, Around a Horn. Just a brilliant, brilliant writer. Mm-hmm. She posted something on her Instagram in response to the video that you sent me. And I want to read it for the audience and for you.
Okay.
Because I think she had a very interesting perspective and take on this.
Okay.
All right. So this is Jamelle Hill. You can see her Instagram at Jamelle Hill. All right. She says, it wasn't until I was in college at Michigan State that I realized how little a lot of white people knew about Black people. And frankly, their lack of curiosity about us in general. It was then that I also realized that white people were completely capable of designing a life where they didn't have to know anything about Black people at all. Black people have had to learn white people because so much of our survival and existence depends on what we know about them. So while this is amusing, speaking about the video, she says, so while this is amusing, it is also an unfortunate reminder of how precarious our space in the world can be. And I thought, yes.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
absolutely right.
There are so many times where, and this isn't a knock on white people living their lives, because people surround themselves with what's comfort and what's familial.
Yeah.
Black people hang out with Black people, white people hang out with white people, Spanish people hang out with Spanish people, Italian people hang out with Italian people, Asian people hang out with Asian people, gay people hang out with gay people, transgender people hang out with transgender people. You identify with your tribe,
right?
By and large, generally speaking. So that in and of itself isn't a problem. What is a problem is when the majority can literally segregate themselves so much to the point where they don't even know Black celebrities.
Yeah.
Because Black existence doesn't have to be included in their life.
At all. They can consume media.
Exactly. Yep.
That does not include us whatsoever.
And that's the reason why the uproar with Beyonce joining the country music got such backlash from certain people in that community. Once again, I say certain people, not all. There was a lot of people that completely embraced it because it's Beyonce. It's a major star. It's only going to bring more eyeballs to your genre of music. But some people were like, no, this is ours.
Yeah.
And like, first of all, it's not yours.
Right.
Second of all, you can't put a claim on anything. If this is America and we're all share alike because it's a melting pot, guess what? It's a melting pot. We all have our hand in it and can take claim to what is Americana. So it's interesting to me that so many of my white friends don't realize that they don't have to deal with race.
Yeah.
And they say to me, why do you always talk about race? Because it's a part of my existence. Only because you make it? No, because society makes it a part of my existence. I'm a proud Black man.
Have to understand is that the ability to live your life in such a way where race is not a factor is white privilege. It's the definition of it.
That's what we talk about when we talk about white privilege, is that there's a whole world that you don't have to even be bothered with if you don't want to be bothered with. And we don't have that option.
No,
we really don't. And we don't have that option to assimilate like so many other minorities have that ability to do.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Italians, when they got here, were extremely discriminated against. So what did they do? They assimilated into the culture. They changed their names.
Yeah.
They got rid of the accents after a certain generation. They almost denied their Italian
cultural heritage. Yeah.
To assimilate because that's what they were told to do. All the while America is saying, bring me everybody. And it's a melting pot. It's a melting pot when you assimilate into whatever is American culture. And I still technically can't figure that out.
I've always hated the term melting pot because the visual that I get is a bunch of different ingredients being added to a pot. Great. Yeah, bring me all. But what comes out is one meal.
It could be delicious, though.
Yeah, it could be, but it just invokes this idea of, we want all these different ingredients, but we want to see one meal. So you have to be this. This is how you have to assimilate and to be considered an American. Yeah. You can come here, but you have to join this one meal.
Yeah. You dropped the bar right there.
you had so that it just always gave me that image, and so I always hated the idea. I'm like, I think you guys are thinking melting pot is a good thing,
No, well,
and it might
because
not be.
I mean, you add your flavor to an overall dish when you're a melting pot, but you lose your essence.
Yeah, you lose your individual identity. You've now
Yeah.
become a part of this one thing
Yeah.
called America, this business known as America.
Oh no, here she go again. But no, so I just thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to bring it up because I love when brilliant people do think pieces on something that can make people something that's so simple
Hmm.
but is often overlooked and can make people really think. And so people will constantly say, "You guys always talk about race on your podcast," and it's you can learn something if you want to. We're
Yeah.
trying to give you a perspective of which either you haven't sought out, didn't know that you weren't looking for it, didn't know that you were ignoring it, or you were trying to learn more. You came here and we're going to give it to you. If you want to learn,
Hmm.
we'll teach you. We'll show you what it's like for us. If
Yeah.
it's something that you're interested in. If you're not interested in it, then you're not really interested in the bettering and the moving forward and the progression of America. And I really can't have a conversation with you. So if you're annoyed by it, I'm
I
just telling you
mean,
my experience.
I
So
don't understand why, in their minds, the idea of bringing up or talking about or having a dialogue about race has this negative connotation to it. Well, I do know it's because it makes them uncomfortable.
yeah.
Nobody else is uncomfortable talking about race except white people.
Well, no, I think a lot of people are uncomfortable talking about race.
No, I don't think
We just don't
so.
find a problem with it. But there are some black people that are uncomfortable talking about race.
But they can, though.
They can. I think everybody can
I
if they
don't think
choose to.
everybody can.
I think everybody can if they choose to live in that discomfort.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The reason me talking about my blackness is got some negative connotation to it is because it makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't mean it's not because what I'm saying is actually a negative thing.
Right.
It's just simply your own discomfort. And so now anytime we try to have conversations about race, it already has this dark cloud hanging over it and nobody wants to do it and nobody wants to face it. But it's just, there's nothing wrong with having the conversation.
No,
There's
there
just
isn't.
nothing wrong with it. It's just a small segment of the population has some discomfort. And so that means that all of us have to act like we're not walking around here black and brown.
Mm. Mm.
And that it means something to walk around here black and brown.
Right. Right. You know where I see a parallel in this conversation, and we'll move. We will get to Reese's Pieces. Okay.
Again, I told you several times in pre-production, it is Rysa Tissa.
I just like Reese's
You're
Pieces.
going to put some respect on her social media handle.
Reese's Pieces, no disrespect.
You still did it.
No, I said Tesis. I said I put the T on it, not a P.
Rysa Tissa.
Well, Tissa, Pisa.
No.
Okay, but going back to the race conversation, you know where I see a lot of parallels with this, and especially when my white male friends and I are talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know the other place where they find extreme discomfort? Racism and then feminism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. When Me Too, is Me Too still out there? Are there still hashtags Me Too now, or is it kind of...
I think it's petered out.
Yeah, it's petered out, but like George Floyd petered out. But when Me Too was out there pumping, oh my God, so many of my white male friends got so agitated. It was like, okay, I understand. Like it's a big deal. Women are being mistreated, but like I'm so tired of hearing about it. I'm like, bruh, like shut up and just listen.
Well, you're
Like,
agitated because you just found out you're a predator.
Well, Uh, they found out that
no,
okay.
you just found out. Not you. I'm saying
Well, no, because I'm taking
those
the white male out of it. I'm taking just male, and
yeah,
to realize
the reason why any man hearing about women fighting back against sexual harassment finds it uncomfortable to talk about is because you just found out that you're a predator. Because whatever story is out there, whatever a woman is sharing her story, it sounds real similar to some things that you've done.
You was about to cuss. I saw it in your face.
I almost did, but I remembered this is not the after hours.
It's not the after hours. But I saw it in your face.
Did it.
Yeah, I know.
But then I didn't.
You're right, you didn't. You didn't.
And I would be uncomfortable too if I found out that I was a predator.
So, yeah. Take race completely out of it. Take gender. Me as a cis male. When Me Too came out, I had to really take a hard look at myself. Now, I can honestly and openly say that I believe there is no woman out there that's ever dealt with me that will say Bruce did something untoward.
Yeah.
Well, untoward, there's degrees of that. All right.
I get your meaning.
You get my meaning, right? Ladies and gentlemen out there, let me just point out that I'm a very respectful man and I treat women with respect. I just want to put that disclaimer out there.
A little PSA for you guys.
But there was a story that I read, and the woman said that she came over to a guy's house, and I've had many women over my house, and I'm not a small guy, right? Not a small guy. So she said in the story that she went over to a guy's house and she did things with him for fear that if she decided not to, that he would harm her.
Yeah.
Because she was in his place.
Yeah.
Alone. And he was a big guy. And I had to look at myself and I had to be like, yo, I'm a giant guy. And I often invite women over to my place. Well, for several reasons. One, I don't like going other places. My place is comfortable. That's 2, I got a full bar. So everything that you need, I got. You know what I'm saying? And Uber Eats to bring us all the food. So why do I need to go anywhere? Just come on over. I got a nice couch, nice TV. I got 2 TVs. If you want to watch something, I want to watch something. We can both do that. It's comfortable over here. So
ladies, you gotta catch over here.
Basically, I'm selfish.
He'll take you nowhere to do nothing. But waste your time.
No, I ain't gonna waste nobody's time. Look, I have a lot of female friends. They be telling me about the dudes they dating, and I know that I'm a catch because some of these dudes out here are trifling. But no, there's been a lot of times where I've had women over, and I'm just like, yo, did they do things because they were in fear?
Yeah.
Not that there was anything that I did to put them in fear, but just the mere situation and presence of me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Dennis from and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like, it's the implication. But I wasn't giving no implication, but it's the implication. And so I was explaining that to some of my guy friends, and some of them, and not black or white, just all of them. And some of them just didn't get it. Yeah. And I was like, yo.
Because they just found out that they're a predator.
Okay. They're listening to the show right now. I'm not trying to call them all predators.
If the shoe doesn't fit, then why are you so upset?
Well, I mean, sometimes the shoe can fit and it could just fit real tight and be uncomfortable.
Yeah, you just found out you're a predator. Because some story came out and you heard it and you thought for a second, that sounded like when I was messing with Denise. Not
Denise. Now, was it Denise Huxtable?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I would have loved to mess with Denise Huxtable. I still mess with Denise Huxtable.
Yeah. So that's 100% the only reason to get upset over people fighting back against sexual harassment and assault. This is the only reason. It's because you just found out you're a predator and you can't handle that.
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, this first segment was making you feel uncomfortable,
Mhm.
making you live in that discomfort, and hopefully you take a step in that discomfort, look around, and realize, maybe there's some changes I can make. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But I've had a lot to drink, and I don't know where that's going to go. But up next, we're going to finally talk about Rysa Tissa. Hey there, podcast listeners. It's Bruce Anthony here, and welcome to another episode of Unsolicited Perspectives. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, the importance of staying hydrated and taking care of ourselves. Whether it's prioritizing our health and wellness, or gearing up for festival seasons, or just gearing up for whatever season or time of year, there's one brand that's been my go-to for all things hydration, Liquid IV. Speaking of health and wellness, let's dive into how Liquid IV can fuel your well-being. Imagine starting your day off right, feeling refreshed and energized. Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier is the missing piece in your daily routine. With just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. It's perfect for those early mornings, pre-workout boosts, moments when you're just feeling run down, or even after a late night or long flights. I absolutely love how convenient Liquid IV is. The packaging makes it easy to bring with me wherever I go. And let me tell you, it's become a vital daily part of my routine. The flavors, let me tell you something, they're incredible. From refreshing sea berry and strawberry lemonade to classics like lemon lime and watermelon, there's a flavor for every preference. It's like a burst of hydration with a hint of deliciousness. Picture this. 1 stick of Liquid IV mixed in 16 ounces of water, hydrating you 2 times faster and more efficient than water alone. And with 12 mouth-watering and flavors, you'll never get bored with your hydration routine. Plus, Liquid IV is packed with 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course, vitamin C. It's also made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, free of gluten, dairy, and soy. This is hydration at its finest. But it doesn't stop there. Liquid IV believes that access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. That's why they partner with leading organizations, finding innovative solutions to help communities protect both their water and their futures. It's incredible to know that Liquid IV has already donated over 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world. They truly walk the talk. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code UNSOLICITED at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code UNSOLICITED at liquidiv.com. Remember, folks, taking care of ourselves should always be a priority. So why wait? Head over to liquidiv.com, pick your favorite flavors, and experience hydration like never before. Stay refreshed, stay hydrated, and keep rocking those unsolicited perspectives. All right, sis, we're going to finally get to it. Reese's Pieces, Reese's Tissas, Tissa Rysa, Rysa Tissa.
I need you to put some respect on that lady's social media handle. It's right, Rysa Tissa.
Rysa Tissa. Will you explain to the people that do not know about Rysa Tissa, who Rysa Tissa is and why we're deciding to talk about it today?
Ladies and gentlemen, on February 14th of 2024,
Valentine's Day,
the world as we know it changed forever. Because the first of what would become a 50-part series on TikTok dropped on the page of a one Rysa Tissa.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called Who the F Did I Marry?
Mm-hmm.
Who the F Did I Marry is Rysa Tissa recounting the 1.5-year marriage she had to a pathological liar.
Yeah.
A pathological liar is not a liar. Mm-mm. They are not a compulsive liar. Mm-mm. They are something way and far beyond that. It is a mental illness.
Well, I mean, they're still liars and compulsive liars, but they're beyond that. Yes.
They're beyond that. Yes.
Yeah.
Pathological liars lie about stuff that don't nobody even care about.
Mm-hmm.
And this story was particularly crazy because he involved other people in
Right.
the lies.
Well, did he?
Yes, realtors, brokers. Uh, he involved. They went to a car dealership. Like he involved her in these conversations that he was having with his brother every morning while they were getting ready for work. He involved other people in the lie.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the long stretch, the short of the story is this woman gives these TikToks explaining how she met this man during the pandemic. They got married, and his world of lies began to unravel to the point where she absolutely did not know this person at all.
Mhm.
And it struck a chord with a lot of people because it was entertaining.
Yeah.
She took full responsibility for her naivete or compliance
Yeah,
or
for her
complacence,
her
compli-
complicity.
her complicity in the
Mhm.
situation. He lied about everything, where he worked, who he was, his background, how many siblings he had, how much money he had,
Where he went
uh,
to school.
where he went to school, what he did for a living before he met her, his previous marriage, because he had previous marriages.
Mhm.
Just he lied about everything. It's a 50-part series. It's on YouTube. Somebody decided to put all 50 parts into one long video. When I say long video, it is 7 hours long. Now, you told me about this probably a week beforehand. And then
Yeah.
you said a couple of days later, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we can talk about it. And I clicked on it and I was like, there's a lot of parts to this. I don't
Mhm.
feel like watching all of it.
Yeah.
He's like, just watch the first couple. And so I sat down and I watched the first couple of TikToks that was put together on this YouTube channel where
Mhm.
all 50 of the episodes were put together. I watched a couple of the parts.
Mhm.
And then the next thing I know, 7 hours later,
Yeah.
I was finished.
Yeah.
The idea, somebody somewhere in the social media landscape brought it up. The idea that we are a microwave society and that we need things instantly and they
Yeah.
have to be short to grab attention spans.
Right.
This disproves all this. Hell, Tiger King, a lot of these Netflix documentaries disprove all of this. If
Mhm.
it's entertaining, it doesn't matter how long it is, people will watch it. This was
Yeah.
7 hours and I did it in one day.
Yeah. Same.
And it was just a woman explaining about her life. And it
Yeah.
was a crazy situation. But
So
also,
crazy.
it points to the loneliness people have.
Yeah. And how it can make you do some crazy things.
Yes. The the wanting of a romantic mate, romantic partner is so strong with people. And everybody out here listening, this will resonate. You will do things out of your moral compass, out of your social aspect or philosophy of life
Mhm.
because you want a romantic partner or you're lonely.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it. I've gone back and looked at relationships. It's like, why did I put up with that? Because at that time, I wanted a romantic partner, and that was the person that I chose. This is going to be my romantic partner.
Right.
So I put up with a lot of stuff that I would not normally put up with. In these series, in these parts, she openly says, I know he was lying.
Yeah.
And I let him get away with it because
He was paying all the bills.
he was paying the bills. And
Yeah.
that's one thing. He gets a lot of riff.
Mhm.
Legion gets a lot of riff. That's the guy that she decided to name. She named him Legion on her post.
Yes.
He paid them bills. Now, did he go
Yeah.
broke paying them bills? Yeah, he did. It
Yeah, he
looked
did.
like it.
This
But he
seems
paid
like
the
it.
bills.
Yeah. He ended up homeless. So,
And
yeah.
he's homeless. He's homeless. So what were some of your, let's dig deep.
Mhm.
The funny is the funny. right? Like he was lying. He told some incredible lies. He always had an answer for something.
Yes.
Like that's funny. That's surface. But what were some things that you saw below the surface that you were just like, wow, okay, she's going through it, or she put herself through it?
Yeah, it was a lot of she put herself through it. But it was like you said earlier, kind of the power of loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And really,
I didn't say it that eloquently. I didn't say the power of loneliness. That you coined that, and that's. I wish I would have came up with that. Power of loneliness. Yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
It sounds like a '80s ballad. The power of loneliness. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all just heard my sister's voice. Y'all ain't know she was a singer. She's like for real a singer. I hum. She sings.
I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about the in-depth versions of Rysa Tissa and more than just a surface line.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, the power of loneliness. And it also speaks to the indoctrination in Christianity of like this traditional family value. And I think a lot of people who are like her or like the way that she was at that time kind of need to stop and think about the reasons why they want to be married. The reasons why they want a partner. Is it because you really do want to build with someone and have, a family with someone? Or is it because you're gotten to a certain age and you believe that this is what you're supposed to be doing? And when she said, I was desperate, I wanted to get married, and I thought it was my turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That my turn hit hard.
Yeah. And what it meant is she had been watching her friends and family get married. And she didn't have a prospect for that at the time, and wanting to also participate in that ritual.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean you want a marriage? Wanting to get married doesn't necessarily mean you want a marriage.
Yeah. The pageantry of getting married.
You want a party.
Right. And you can always throw a party. You can get together with somebody and throw a party.
You want a party like your friends had a party. You want a party like your cousin Tiffany had a party, and you can't stand her and you're upset that she got her party before you got your party.
Right. Because Tiffany always been a hoe. We knew that she was back in the day, but somehow she found somebody to turn a hoe into a housewife. Why can't Ressa Tissa?
And you know why? Because he's 82.
not 82.
1 foot in this world and 1 foot out.
But he using that Viagra though.
You know what she's after.
Oh, Otis is using that Viagra. I don't know why his name is Otis. It just sounds like an 82-year-old man that used Viagra would be named Otis.
It's Otis Green.
Or Bruce. Yeah.
Shout out to any 82-year-old out there named Otis Green. I love you.
Otis Green. Now, I find it, I had to rewind it as I was listening to the parts. Ladies and gentlemen, I truly recommend going and listening to it because I think it's an eye-opening experience for everybody as far as teaching us perception versus reality.
Yeah.
And the thing that really tripped me out was I had to go back and rewind to look at timelines. And in this timeline, they went out on a date in March of 2020. Pandemic happens. They've known each other for 2 weeks, and they decide to shack up during the lockdown because they're based in Georgia. And they decide to move in together after knowing each other for 2 weeks.
Right. Insane.
Within 3 months, they're engaged and expecting.
Yes.
And I'm just like, look, the pandemic was a crazy time.
Yeah.
Your boy entered in some situations during the pandemic.
Yeah. We all did.
interesting,
Yeah.
to say the least, right?
We were all a little bit crazy.
They're all a little crazy.
Yeah.
But your boy would not have moved in with somebody in 2 weeks.
No, that was insane.
Right. Like, I would at least have kept my own place and be like, hey, man, like, quarantine, they didn't say you couldn't drive on the roads and go to places. You
Right.
could still go to the grocery store. You could still go get gas. Some people still had to go to work.
Right.
So you could still had your own place and
Yes.
still drove to see each other.
I don't know why they thought this was a good idea.
And she really enjoyed it because he was paying all the bills.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. She should have known from day one, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
The moment she went over to his place for the first time.
He was just in the little studio?
Yeah, but he's...
What's wrong with a brother in the studio?
Because he's supposed to be the regional manager of a condiment company.
No, a condiment, not condominium.
I said condiment company.
Right. But I'm saying, so what does that have to do? He had just moved. He had a story for that. He just moved into the area and they were helping him find a house. And he had an approval level for an approval letter. Woo! That alcohol kicking in.
Lord.
That approval. Right? Yeah, I'm good. I don't know if that was speech impediment or if that's just alcohol or both.
A little bit from column A and a little from column B.
And a little from column C. And I don't know what the hell is in column C. But I don't know what that meant. But he had an excuse. He had that letter of loan approval from Chase Bank saying that he was approved for $700,000.
Now, the moment she saw that letter, she should have known it was fake.
Well,
because it said, "Dear, comma, Mr. No period, McCoy."
Who's going to, all right. Who's going to really look at an approval letter that hard? Well, that's you.
The moment I look at it, I'm like, why is the punctuation off?
Okay, you would.
Yes.
I wouldn't even notice that the punctuation is off.
Yes,
not
and that's how people get hustled.
Major. Yeah,
and that's how people get hustled by spam emails and letters and things like that. But the whole punctuation is off.
Yeah. Well,
his full name was nowhere on that letter.
Was it?
No, it said Mr. McCoy. It didn't have an account information. It didn't have nothing on it. Except a copy and paste Chase logo at the top. The punctuation was all off. I've never in the history of my life seen a pre-approval letter that looked like that read like that.
Well, if you've never seen a pre-approval letter, then, that might work.
Y'all need to read more.
I mean, look, he had an excuse. He had a line for absolutely everything.
Yeah. And she showed the key is she wanted to believe it.
Yeah, she wanted to believe it. People will believe a lie because they want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
When my college girlfriend, that Jezebel.
Oh, Lord.
That hussy. Okay. She cheated on me.
Mm.
And she was telling me all this stuff that didn't make sense to me. And I let it slide. I let it slide because I wanted to believe the lie and didn't want to believe that she was creeping.
Right.
But she was creeping.
But inherent in wanting to believe something, quote unquote, is the knowledge that you do know the truth.
Mm-hmm. Something.
And you're purposefully choosing to ignore it.
And she said it every time. She said, Lord, y'all, there was something, it just didn't feel right. It was like, yeah, you knew what it was. You knew what it was.
It's called a lie.
So when I was watching this, I found parallels in my own life, not that particular instance, but signs that my body is telling me, my mind, my intuition is telling me this particular situation. Doesn't always have to be dating. It could be business ventures. It could be friendships. It can be going down a road, right?
Yeah.
Making a turn. Your body kind of lets you know, intuition kind of lets you know, look, something right here ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm watching this, there were so many times that I'm listening to her and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I really need to listen to my intuition a lot more because there has not been a time when my intuition has been wrong.
Right.
There's something that's in us that recognizes when there's a lie, when there is danger.
Mhm.
We have a sixth sense. We do. We
No,
ignore it.
it's called our brains.
It's not always called our brain.
It's called our brains. It's called that we see something, we know what it is, we recognize it, and then we decide, I didn't see that. And we move on with our lives.
Not even subconsciously. You're saying consciously. We're like, no, didn't see it.
Yeah.
Don't want to recognize it.
So that feeling in it's a feeling in my gut is because you already know with your brain what the truth is.
Yeah. I don't know if I feel bad. Yeah, I feel bad. I've turned a new leaf in my life where I'm really, really happy being alone, almost to my detriment.
Mm-hmm.
Almost to the point where like somebody gonna have to break down the walls and pull me out, because I'm like, look, I can do better all by myself. I know it's a Tyler Perry play, but I can.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's an extreme comfort in being alone, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are. And so a lot of people are lonely. And that's one thing that I'm not, is lonely. So I'm trying to identify with a lot of things that she was saying. And the reason why we're talking about this is because I think that her story will resonate with a lot of people, because so many people do things because they are lonely.
Yeah.
Y'all know you do not want to be on that dating site. You're on that dating site swiping right and left because you are lonely and you are bored.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to take a step back, because I have so many female friends and they've done this. And I tell them, you need to stop going on them dating sites and just find yourself. Just be by yourself for a little while. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to meet somebody and there's going to be an initial spark. And you're going to be like, this person is great. But this person isn't great. They just felt that loneliness that you had.
Mm.
And then when they can no longer feel that loneliness that you had, you're going to become disinterested. And for those true sociopaths, they ghost those people. The real honest people, and I'm not saying I'm a sociopath, but I have ghosted a lot of people in my lifetime. But the real honest people will say, look, this isn't working for me. And you hurt a person because maybe they were ready. Right. Maybe they were looking for something, and maybe they were into you because they felt that you were into them, but really you was just filling a void of loneliness. And so that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if we weren't in a pandemic, she wouldn't have settled for that.
Yeah, I absolutely think she would have.
Okay.
Yeah. He was checking all the boxes for her, and the boxes were, he's alive.
Time out.
He's mostly male.
He's alive and he's mostly male. Those are boxes.
That concludes the list. Okay.
And he paid the bills. And he paid the bills. That was a key thing.
That was a bonus.
Was a key thing.
That's why she let him move into her house after 2 weeks. She was always going to marry him because he was what? Alive and mostly male. Okay? Because she told you. I don't think she did this out of loneliness. I think she did it because of a societal pressure on women to get married. She said, I was desperate.
I think desperation.
I wanted to get married, and I thought this was my turn.
Well, I mean, I think loneliness is part of that desperation.
I think it is that social pressure on women to get married, to be a wife, and to have children.
It's not solely women. It's also men. But it's for men to get to find a wife, to have children, to continue on their legacy.
But it's more socially acceptable for a man to wait longer than it is for a woman. Once you hit a certain age, it's usually around 26, people start asking, when you gonna have a baby? When you gonna get married? What are you why are you still single?
Okay. All right.
Men
All
can
right.
be single into their 40s and don't nobody say
Not true.
nothing.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true at all. I get that question. And I've been getting that question for the last 10 years. Bruce, when you going to get married again? Bruce, when you going to have kids? Bruce, when you going to do that? It happens for men too. Does it happen later? Yes.
Yeah.
It happens later for men than it does from women. But I can tell you from a male's perspective, it does still happen. People still ask you. And then when people ask you, it's, don't you want to have kids? Don't you want to continue on the legacy? And I always say, I don't really think that's the reason to have kids.
No, it's a terrible reason to have children.
If the reason to have kids in your mind is to continue on a legacy, that's a real narcissistic way of looking at things. Why does my legacy mean so much that it needs to continue on first and foremost? There isn't anything that I'm not saying that I'm not important, but in the grand scheme of things,
right?
When I close my eyes and take my final breath, will I be as important as a president? I don't know. Maybe one day I might want to run for president, but I don't know. Right. So I don't know what my legacy is.
Because I've chosen violence this entire episode.
Yeah, you have.
I'm going to keep on. I'm going to reload and put in a new clip.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah, do your thing. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought because you made me laugh.
What I make you laugh about?
Because I don't know. You just had a real low voice for some reason.
That anytime you say I'm going to choose violence.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, go ahead.
Okay, what was the last thing you said that'll trigger my memory?
God. I was talking about legacy and children and
correct.
Yeah, okay,
correct.
There we go.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so the only people who make the legacy argument are people who don't have one. Because you are your legacy.
Okay.
It is not my children's responsibility to carry on my legacy. What about their own?
So many people have children and they expect them to be miniature versions of themselves. And that can absolutely happen, right? I look at our parents and we all of us, not exact carbon copy miniature versions, even though I do very much look like my father. Physically very much look like my father. But I'm not a carbon copy. I have a lot of his characteristics.
Yeah.
I have a lot of my mom's characteristics. So do you, so do our brother. So we're not carbon copies. I would say we're evolutions of them. And that's what I think you truly want your kids. I don't have kids, but if I did have kids, I would want them to be the next evolution of me. Somebody who thinks, somebody who is open-minded, somebody who is naturally loving to all until there's a reason not to be loving. Yeah. And then at that point, you can throw some hands.
Yeah. I want my kids to reflect themselves. I am not going to put my baggage on you. If I have a legacy, it will be because of the things that I've done. Most of the time, the people who talk about that are people who don't have one, or the legacy that they do have is not a good one. And they're hoping that the next generation can repair it. But I think we need to start letting children be individual people.
Yeah, I agree. What is your final thoughts on Rysa Tissa? What did you learn from this?
I learned about pathological liars. I mean, the lengths, like to me, that is, I mean, not to me, to the DSM-4, it's a mental illness because it's beyond compulsive. Yeah. It is, I don't even know what word you could use. But this man lied about everything.
Yeah, he did.
But the only reason that he was able to do so is because she decided that she was going to be okay with that. Because it was her turn, damn it. She'd have seen everybody else walk down the aisle, and now it's my turn. And I'm willing to legally bind myself to a human being who would knowingly and willfully get my hopes up, knowing he will not come through.
Yeah.
When he never had to. It was enough that you paid the bill. You could have told her you were really a forklift driver.
Yeah.
Because guess what? A forklift driver's salary is paying all of her bills.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have said that. You chose otherwise.
Right.
Or actually, he didn't, because he has no control over it. I truly believe. I've seen his videos since then. Of course, he was outed, even though Rysa Tissa used the nickname that she had come up with. He ended up being outed by another TikToker, and he has consistently lied to the public since then that he has a Netflix deal, and it's going to be his story getting out there. It is that he's got, all the stuff that he tried to post his bank statement, and if you Google bank statement, the first image to pop up was the image that he posted.
Yep.
So he's still lying.
Yep.
To America.
Right. So, all right. On that note, that's it for this show. I don't know how it ended up. We'll find out, because we're both a little inebriated, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Jay, what do you want to tell the people out there?
An apple a day does not keep the doctor away. People really need to stop saying that.
Who said that, and where did that come from?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. There are some euphemisms that I'm just like, that's not even possible, and it's not even a thing.
No, I think that was the farmers putting some stuff out there. But on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciated. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.